The Secret Life and Tragic Ending of Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was born Shirley Temple Black on April 23, 1928, in Santa Monica, California, was one of the most iconic child stars in the history of Hollywood. Her impact on the entertainment industry and American culture is profound and enduring, as she captivated the hearts of millions during the Great Depression with her irresistible charm, sparkling personality, and extraordinary talent. From an early age, Temple's radiant smile, curly hair, and precocious acting abilities made her a symbol of hope and happiness during one of the most challenging times in American history. Her career, which began when she was just 3 years old, took off with a series of films that showcased her singing, dancing, and acting skills, and cemented her place as a beloved star. Shirley Temple's rise to fame came at a time when the United States was struggling through the economic hardships of the Great Depression. Her first major breakthrough came in 1934 with the film Stand Up and Cheer, where her dance routine with actor James Dunn captured the imagination of audiences and producers alike. That same year, she starred in Bright Eyes, a film that featured one of her most famous performances of the song on the good ship Lollipop. Her remarkable poise and professionalism, combined with her natural acting ability, made her a sensation at a very young age. By the time she was 6, Shirley Temple was a household name and had become the box office champion for 3 consecutive years, from 1935 to 1938. Her films were seen as a remedy for the nation's collective gloom, offering optimism and cheerfulness when it was needed most. During her career as a child star, Shirley Temple starred in a series of hugely successful films, including Curly Top, 1935, Heidi, 1937, The Little Colonel, 1935, and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, 1938. These films not only solidified her status as a superstar but also helped save the movie studios she worked for, particularly 20th Century Fox, from financial ruin. Temple's ability to connect with audiences, both young and old, was unmatched, and her on-screen persona was crafted to embody innocence, joy, and hope. Her roles often involved overcoming adversity, showcasing resilience and optimism, which resonated deeply with the American public during the Depression era. Her curly hair, cherubic face, and infectious smile became her trademarks, and Shirley Temple dolls, books, and other merchandise soon flooded the market, further elevating her into an American cultural icon. As Shirley Temple grew older, her transition from child star to adolescent actress proved to be challenging. Audiences who had adored her as a little girl were not as receptive to her as she matured, and by the time she was a teenager, her film career began to wane. Temple retired from acting at the age of 22 after appearing in films like The Bachelor and The Bobby Soxer, 1947, and Fort Apache, 1948, both of which allowed her to showcase her evolving talent in more mature roles. While these films were moderately successful, they did not achieve the same level of impact as her earlier work. Despite this, her legacy as the most famous child star in cinematic history was already cemented. After retiring from acting, Shirley Temple embarked on a second, highly successful career in public service and diplomacy. In 1969, she was appointed as a delegate to the United Nations by President Richard Nixon, where she focused on issues related to the environment and human rights. In 1974, she became the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, a post she held with distinction, helping to strengthen relations between the two nations. Later, from 1989 to 1992, she served as the U.S. ambassador to Czechoslovakia during a critical period in the country's transition from communism to democracy. Temple's grace, intelligence, and diplomatic skills earned her widespread respect in the international community, proving that she was much more than a former child star. She was a capable and effective diplomat. In addition to her diplomatic work, Shirley Temple was also involved in various humanitarian causes, including efforts to raise awareness about breast cancer. After surviving breast cancer herself in the 1970s, she became one of the first celebrities to speak publicly about the disease, helping to destigmatize it and encourage women to seek early detection and treatment. Her courage in discussing such a personal and serious issue further endeared her to the public and showcased her commitment to using her platform for positive change. Shirley Temple's impact on American culture and the entertainment industry cannot be overstated. She was more than just a talented actress. She was a symbol of hope and resilience during a time when the nation needed it most. Her success as a child star remains unparalleled, and her films continue to be beloved by generations of viewers. In 1988, she received the Kennedy Center Honors, a recognition of her significant contributions to American culture. Her legacy is also preserved in the Shirley Temple Collection, a compilation of her most famous films that continue to inspire and delight audiences worldwide. In 1943, at the age of 15, Shirley Temple, already a Hollywood icon known for her precocious talent and roles in numerous films during the Great Depression, met 22-year-old John Ager. Ager was a soldier and aspiring actor, and their relationship quickly developed into a romantic one. Despite her youth and the significant challenges that often come with young marriages, the two were engaged, and on September 19, 1945, just 2 years later, a 17-year-old Temple married Ager in a highly publicized ceremony. The wedding took place at Wilshire Methodist Church in Los Angeles, and it was widely covered by the media, as Temple was a beloved figure whose fans were deeply invested in her life. For a while, the marriage seemed to embody the fairy tale image many associated with Temple herself, as she transitioned from her childhood stardom into adulthood. In 1948, 3 years into their marriage, Temple gave birth to their only child, a daughter named Linda Susan Ager, which added to the public's fascination with her family life. However, despite the joy of becoming a mother, Temple's marriage to Ager was far from idyllic. Ager, who struggled to establish his own identity in the shadow of Temple's fame, reportedly developed a drinking problem. His alcoholism, combined with his extramarital affairs, put increasing strain on the marriage. Temple, who had grown up in the limelight and learned to navigate the pressures of Hollywood, found herself facing personal difficulties that contrasted with the wholesome image many associated with her. By 1949, the cracks in their relationship had deepened, and in 1950, after 5 years of marriage, Temple filed for divorce, citing mental cruelty as the primary reason. This marked a significant turning point in her life, as she chose to prioritize her well-being and that of her daughter over maintaining an unhappy marriage. Later in 1950, Temple's life took another turn when she met Charles Alden Black, a wealthy businessman and naval officer, whom she married on December 16 of that year. Unlike her first marriage, Temple's relationship with Black was characterized by stability, mutual respect, and love. Black, who came from a prestigious family, had a successful career outside of Hollywood, which provided a sense of balance and normalcy to Temple's life. The couple had 2 children together, a son named Charles Alden Black Jr., and a daughter, Lori Black. Lori would later become known for her unexpected career path, taking on the stage name Lorax and becoming the bassist for the alternative rock band The Melvins during the 1980s and early 1990s. This move was a departure from the glamorous, Hollywood world in which her mother had thrived, showing the diverse paths Temple's children chose to follow. Temple and Black's marriage lasted for 54 years, until Charles Alden Black's death on August 4, 2005, from complications related to a bone marrow disease. Throughout their long marriage, Temple found happiness in her role as a wife and mother, and she largely stepped away from her acting career to focus on her family and later her work in diplomacy and public service. Black's death marked the end of a deeply fulfilling partnership for Temple, who had found in him a strong source of support, far from the tumult of her first marriage. Shirley Temple herself lived until the age of 85, passing away on February 10, 2014, at her home in Woodside, California. Her death marked the end of a remarkable life that had spanned a unique arc from child star to influential public figure. According to her death certificate, which was released on March 3, 2014, the cause of death was chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a condition she had developed due to her lifelong habit of smoking. Despite the wholesome image she had cultivated in the public eye, Temple had been a cigarette smoker for much of her adult life, a fact she kept private out of concern for her fans. She did not want her smoking habit to negatively influence the countless people who admired her, particularly the young audiences who had grown up watching her films. In keeping with her private nature, Temple avoided being seen smoking in public, which reflected the deep sense of responsibility she felt as a public figure. Shirley Temple was laid to rest at Alta Mesa Memorial Park, a peaceful cemetery located in Palo Alto, California. Her grave became a place where fans and admirers could pay their respects to a woman whose impact on American entertainment, and later in diplomacy, had been profound. Although she had left Hollywood behind decades earlier, her legacy as one of the most iconic child stars in cinematic history continued to endure, with her films and performances remembered for their joy, charm, and enduring optimism during some of America's most difficult times. Beyond the screen, Temple's legacy also lived on through her contributions to public service, as she had served as a U.S. ambassador and diplomat, demonstrating that her talents extended far beyond the realm of entertainment.